Hello everyone. With the continuous advancement of the project, China's second fifth-generation stealth fighter jet, the J-35, has made particularly remarkable progress. At present, the Air Force version, the J-35A, has started to be commissioned into the military. As for the naval carrier-based J-35, it is rumored that it has carried out catapult take-off tests on the Fujian ship, an electromagnetic catapult-type aircraft carrier. Obviously, these all show that the technical state and performance of this aircraft have reached or are very close to the degree that the military can recognize and accept. Considering that it will also be a fifth-generation aircraft entering the international arms market, who will become the potential buyers of the J-35 is naturally a matter of great concern. Among them, Middle Eastern countries like Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, which are known as rich countries, were considered to have a high possibility. But now it seems that things may be a bit complicated. According to Chinese media reports, the United States and Saudi Arabia have signed a military sales agreement worth nearly $142 billion, the largest such deal in the two countries' history. Some media reports have stated that the U.S. and Saudi Arabia have discussed whether to allow Saudi Arabia to purchase the American-made F-35 stealth fighter jet. However, as of now, the White House has not mentioned this matter in its statements. It appears that the U.S. has significantly shifted its attitude on this issue. From former President Biden's administration refusing to allow Saudi Arabia to acquire the F-35 to the current discussions under President Trump's administration about exporting the F-35 to Saudi Arabia. So, will the U.S. ultimately approve Saudi Arabia's acquisition of this American fifth-generation fighter jet? At least in terms of possibility, it is much higher than during the Biden administration. If the White House lifts the export ban and the two sides agree on a price, it is not excluded that the F-35 could become the first fifth-generation fighter jet in the Royal Saudi Air Force. For China, which is seeking to further expand into the Middle Eastern arms market with advanced equipment like the J-35, this is naturally far from ideal. Regarding whether the J-35 has the opportunity to outperform the F-35 in competition, in my view, the possibility is quite high. On the one hand, in terms of comprehensive equipment performance, as China's second fifth-generation fighter jet, the J-35 inherits a great deal of mature technology that has been verified on the J-20. Additionally, due to its later development, it incorporates many more advanced technologies that have emerged in recent years. As for the F-35, it still has numerous lingering issues to be resolved. These include relatively basic problems such as the inability to sustain supersonic flight for extended periods, as otherwise the engine exhaust flame will erode the stealth coating on the rear fuselage. Not to mention that it has crashed no fewer than 10 times. Therefore, I have every reason to believe that the comprehensive performance of the J-35 is by no means inferior to that of the F-35, and the J-35 may even be stronger. There may be some unverified rumors here that you haven't heard of, such as claims that the J-20 has locked onto the F-35 and F-22 multiple times, leading to the U.S. removing many officers in recent years. It is widely acknowledged that the confrontation between the United States and China has become increasingly evident. This is because these officers failed in the confrontations. On the other hand, even if the Trump administration approves the export of F-35s to Saudi Arabia, it will not change the principle of maintaining Israel's military superiority in the Middle East. It is conceivable that the Saudi version F-35 will most likely undergo a downgrade in comprehensive combat capability. For example, the United States may not provide long-range beyond visual range air-to-air missiles. The stealth performance of the Saudi version F-35 may be reduced, the radar detection range of the Saudi version F-35 may be restricted. Therefore, it remains uncertain whether the Royal Saudi Air Force would be willing to accept such performance-downgraded F-35s. Thus, even if Trump approves the export of F-35s to Saudi Arabia, it does not mean Saudi Arabia will necessarily purchase them. After conducting a comparative analysis and comprehensive evaluation of the F-35 and J-35, there is a possibility that Saudi Arabia might decide to purchase the J-35. After all, under similar budget constraints, who would not want to acquire equipment with more advanced overall performance? Of course, it should be noted that unlike ordinary import-export cooperation, arms trade has its own special attributes. That is, political needs often outweigh the actual needs of the military for specific equipment and arms trade. If Saudi Arabia ultimately chooses the U.S. F-35 after considering more political factors, there is indeed little China can do about it. After all, the rules of the game are such. But if we think differently, if Saudi Arabia categorically abandons the F-35 and seeks to purchase the J-35, what would this signify in the realm of international political diplomacy? Presumably, there is no need to elaborate further. As for what choice Saudi Arabia will ultimately make, we might as well continue to observe.